You're watching live coverage from the CBT News Stage at the 2024 NADA Show in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick with CBT News, and we are at the CBT News Stage here at the 2024 NADA Convention in Vegas. And I have got two very good friends of mine, Miss Kerri Wise, who's the Chief Marketing Officer at AutoFi, and her sidekick, you've seen him here before on CBT News, Joe St. John, who's the Vice President of Training at AutoFi. Folks, thank you so much for stopping by. This is great.
Thank you. It's exciting to be on this stage.
I don't know why I took this assignment on. To have you two like this, I don't know why.
This is going to get wild.
Good luck.
Wild up here, Jim.
Good luck.
Good luck, exactly. This is one way to really finish the NADA. But Kerri, for you, let's talk a little bit about AutoFi and some of the things that you're seeing, especially the big presence that you guys have here at NADA this year. I mean, the booth is incredible. Talk to us about some of the things that you're hearing and seeing, the people coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited for this NADA. I've been to over 20 NADAs.
Really? Wow.
I've marketed a lot of products in my career.
Oh my God, 20.
And I've never been more excited to represent a company and a product than this year's NADA. And part of it is that we are expanding our platform. You know, we've been known, like it or not, as digital retailing, you know, as this widget or tool that enables customers to shop on the website.
Sure.
And we've expanded now into the showroom.
Okay.
And so when you talk about what's happening at NADA, like, I think that's what dealers need to be thinking about. It's like, how do we arm the people in the store to sell cars more efficiently, faster, with more profit and a better customer experience? And I feel like our platform is addressing that head on.
Where did you see the need to expand into the showroom? Was it something that came from the dealer body and the clients that you had? Well,
if you look at just consumer behavior overall, right? I think AutoFi was one of the first, finance center digital retailing platforms, and a lot of companies, 5 years ago were pushing digital retailing. But the reality is that most customers are not buying online, right? Only a small percentage of them are doing that, and so where the real action happens is the showroom. And so we knew, based on consumer behavior, but also some of the dealer pain points that we were seeing, like the bottlenecks at the desk, not being able to overcome consumer distrust. We had to come up with a platform and a solution that could solve that to help dealers sell better than they have in the past.
Sure, Joe, I see you nodding your head. You want to jump in there?
Yeah, I think it's undeniable that the data that's out there paints a pretty interesting picture about our industry, right? You've got the average time it takes to work a car deal being almost 3.5 hours inside of a dealership.
Still the number one complaint.
The number one complaint on CSI, and it's so solvable, and it creates this kind of ripple effect of negative outcomes for the dealer that I'm really unbelievably proud of what we've built over the last year. And I'm exhausted. You can hear it in my voice. I was taken back to my sales manager days just at the booth a few minutes ago, where you wake up and you have 15 deals working, and it was just packed full of dealers getting demos and seeing what's happening. And it was wild and overwhelming. And I think what I'm taking away from this is just how excited the industry is and how they're responding to our ability to solve a real problem for them, and one that they can feel and see.
Right. Do you agree, though, that consumers are not wanting to, I should say the dealers are not seeing that consumers want to buy cars completely online?
Yeah, the data speaks for itself, right? I think what consumers want to do when they're online is answer a handful of questions so that when they get in store, it doesn't take 3 hours.
Sure.
And so what all the data shows is that if you can connect those two experiences in a way where you pick right up where they left off and you work your car deal. I mean, I was joking about it in my session a few minutes ago. If you have a customer that thinks they buy a car online, Jim, their experience when they show up to most dealerships is like, well, welcome to the dealership. What are you looking to buy today? And they're like, no, I just bought a car on your website. I'm here to pick it up. Well, new car, used car, what are you looking for? You're like, no,
four-door, two-door,
you want an
SUV.
SUV truck.
Right.
It's the same either or questions. Yeah, and we start them over. And Kerri's right. When you show what we're doing to dealers, they get it. And they go, oh, this is the missing piece.
Sure.
And I think that's why I'm happy about how tired I am right now.
Yeah. As the as the training development manager, or I should say vice president of training for AutoFi, talk to us about the importance of that, because you and I talked about it in the studio. at great length. And there's a lot of providers out there that fall short of the training and don't understand the retail automotive industry, perhaps like AutoFi has an appreciation for and commits you to do that.
Well, we're so unbelievably blessed. You've got Kerri Wise, who's one of the absolute best trainers in the history of this business.
Absolutely.
You've got me, who ran an F&I school. You've got Patrick Wild, our senior director of training, that helped build things like the Volkswagen Institute. And we truly believe that the only way to make technology really successful for a dealer isn't give them a bunch of parts and some instructions. It's to go help them see how to use it to transform their business. We currently literally implement a 2-week install period. Across that time, we have a team of change management advisors that are former retail people. Most of them were desking car deals 6 months ago. And they go into a dealership and they get what we call meerkat moments, which is when salespeople pop up and they go, hey, how'd they just do that over there?
Meerkat.
Yeah, and when you have a salesperson that's been in the business for 2 months, close a deal in 20 minutes and make $7,000 front to back, all the other salespeople go, hey, how do I do that? And that takes a lot of consistency and effort. And I think it's one of the areas that we really stand out in is our ability to actually help dealers get through that discomfort of the J curve and come out the other side and immediately start seeing value.
Sure.
As a marketer in this role, I've been a trainer before, I've been a marketer. It's such a gift because I'm communicating a product, and I'm communicating pain points that I know are real because Joe and his team have been working the deals themselves in the store alongside the dealer. And I think working in tech for the time that I've worked, it's very common to build a product and build it and hope that they come and hope that they use it. And when they don't use it, blame the dealer for not using it, right? And I think we have really understood what are the roadblocks and why they're not using it. Let's solve what we can.
Absolutely.
Let's do change management to get them to think differently on some circumstances. And to me, it gives us confidence that we know this thing can work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we got to give you a huge competitive advantage over your competitors, right? Talk to me about that, because this is the kind of support that dealers are looking for when they align themselves with the right vendor partner.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a marketing standpoint, we launched a campaign, in first week of January, leading into NADA, called "Sell Smarter, Not Harder," and part of that was very much in partnership with Joe and his team, centered on these pain points. The bottleneck at the desk, as I mentioned, consumer distrust, these lender decisions, and helping them make better decisions. And if you look at most marketing in the automotive tech space, we tend to, and I've done it in the past, I've made the mistake in the past, focus on features, right? Like, look at these bells and whistles and how amazing they are, and just come, dealer, you'll like it. It's magic, and or BS outcomes or stats. And I think for me, it was very much anchored on, like, these are real problems we solve, and these are real outcomes that after testing this for a long time, real dealer outcomes. And to me, I think it gives us confidence in the product, but more importantly, when we're communicating these promises to dealers, we can actually live up to them.
Talk to me about some of the capabilities that you guys have from the showroom level and what the dealers and consumers should be most excited about.
Yeah, I think one of the real differentiators is, car deals happen in waves. So you look up and you've got, like me at the booth earlier, you're working 15 deals at one time and it's just madness.
Right.
And what happens is if you're a salesperson and you're in that world, and I go to the desk, for a first pencil, it can take me 15 to 20 minutes to get that information to the customer. Their buying temperature is the highest when they get back from their test drive, and we let them sit on the showroom and lose all of that excitement before we show them the most important part. What really sets us apart is we believe very strongly that the manager's building the car deal and getting it ready for a salesperson is paramount. And when the salesperson gets back, get them to those numbers quickly. Yeah. The other thing that I think that really sets us apart, and I'm going to give an example, and I think I talked about this on your show, is when you utilize really intelligent lender routing to standardize the way that you submit to the different banks that you use as a dealer, what you end up with is not only like going to less lenders, but you get more approvals, and you get those in front of the consumer in a way that builds credibility for the dealer. I had multiple times where a customer is telling me they're not going to pay a certain rate. They submit, we use the same technology that powers multi-lender decisioning across the globe. And what you see is, 3 banks show up with 3 different rates that were all way higher than what the customer said they were paying. And they go, I'll do that one.
Right. And
I think that there's a lot of this that was really built around what it takes to sell a car and what it takes for a 23-year-old that was working at an Amazon warehouse 3 months ago to sell a car, because that's who dealers are able to recruit right now.
That's right.
And so we've built a product that empowers them to be way better at that job in a way that makes it the customer's decision and really alleviates a lot of the roadblocks along that value chain that slow up and gum up the whole system.
It's interesting you say that. I think of even our F&I menu presentation. Where I was working with a dealership, a particular salesperson who was very junior. I think she was a hairstylist before she came into the dealership, and she was like, I never sold F&I products, right? I never sold F&I products because I had this printout. It was laminated, and she would just show the F&I. Well, through our experience with technology, you can show videos, and you actually have technology to aid you on your F&I presentation.
Yeah, real tools.
Right, real tools. And also choices and packages. And we all know that consumers want more than one choice, right? There's studies that say actually when you have 3 choices, you choose the middle choice oftentimes, right?
You'll always see that on websites where it says most popular. It's right in the middle.
It's right in the middle. And so I think for her, back to this salesperson, this very junior salesperson, she's like, through your technology, I have a stronger F&I menu presentation. I'm selling it better, more consistently, and her numbers obviously had gone up as well.
That's right. And it sounds to me like if you make it easier for the staff to actually sell and deliver vehicles, it's going to be that much easier for consumers to buy them.
Absolutely.
So we always, consumers are, why does it take 4 hours to buy a car? Because some cases it takes 4 hours for that sales department to get their act together to sell that consumer a car. If you've ever been in a dealership on a Saturday at 2:00 and you want to get an appraisal or an F&I answer or a desk, the first pencil, you've got to wait and wait and wait. And the whole time that customer is just steaming mad, right?
Even when you do things at home, I was with a friend who filled out the credit app at home. I go in to buy the car with them, and I'm thinking, we're done. I mean, they had a great credit
Everybody
score.
thinks that.
They had a great credit score. There weren't a lot of hiccups, and yet they still waited 45 minutes to get an F&I.
Isn't that crazy?
Right? So it's just, I think, I always tell Joe's been, he's sold cars. He's been a general manager. I have not. And I often say, one of our challenges in automotive is that we're almost too close to it. And so when you say, why are things like this? Well, that's just how they have to be. Oh, salespeople can't. I would never empower my salespeople. And Joe, you talked about that, with the resistance.
Oh, I had a conversation a few minutes ago with a wildly successful dealer. And he said, a really good salesperson is going to do this and this and this. I said, you're right. How good are you right now at recruiting really good salespeople?
Exactly.
And he goes, I'm not.
Do we call the really good salesperson store and have them ship over 4 or 5?
And so what you end up with is these young people that were working at a Starbucks as a barista. They understand customer service. And instead of us gumming up the system because it's the way we've always done it, let's empower them to go be really great at that job.
That's right.
And if we can do that, we elevate them, we elevate the sales managers, we elevate the dealer, and all of that leads to a better customer experience, and everybody wins.
And if done right, it could very well be that it's harder to learn how to be a barista than it is to sell a car in an AutoFi store.
That'd be awesome.
I watch those people and it's incredible, right? I'm like, how do they learn this stuff? So Kerri Wise, Chief Marketing Officer at AutoFi, and Joe St. John, crazy man as he is, we love you though, Vice President of Training at AutoFi. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Always great to catch up.
Always a
This
pleasure.
was awesome, Jim. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching the live coverage from the CBT News Stage at the 2024 NADA Show.